If you've been following the Estonian national selection, you'll definitely recognize this talented young woman. She wowed us with her emotive piano ballad Energy and is now one of the finalists for Eesti Laul this year. And she's proving that sometimes if you've got a great song, all you need is one instrument and your voice. Kadri joins me from Estonia. How are you?
Hello. Thank you for asking. I'm fine. And it's nice to join.
Yeah, totally. I have to say congratulations for advancing to the final. I want to know, tell me about how that night was like for you.
It was a very, very nice meeting night with other musicians. And I mean, considering the Corona times, it was very heartwarming to get to talk to people and to get so much feedback out of a performance. And even though the feedback was through the internet, or through comments or like letters and such things. But it was very, very, very inspiring because I need the excitement of live performance. It feeds me and it gives me inspiration to write and compose. So it's part of me. I need the excitement in my stomach. So yeah, I'm very, very lucky that I get a chance to do it once more. So yeah, I'm very, very happy.
Well, I imagine, and not only are you going on to the final, but you actually got some specific compliments from the jury. You were one of the top four that was mentioned before the qualifiers were listed, and we actually had a familiar face for us who have followed Eesti Laul from last year, Annette, who was competing herself. She made a specific mention of you, and I know that you've also been on that side of things. You've been involved in the jury for Eesti Laul. So I wonder, what was it like to be competing this time around?
It was a complete different experience, different from every other performance experience, I think, because the tension of that live performance is very different from a usual TV live thing, because of the format. You have to start out of a countdown in millisecond, and there's a show, and there's like screens, and what's the most different thing about this, that you have to be patiently waiting for your turn to arrive, and it's a different kind of tension inside of your body that's growing and growing and growing. And why is it that? Because like all the days before your performance, everyone is kind of bumping it up, the excitement. Like, so how do you feel? So now it's going to happen very soon. Are you ready? And so on. And it's like, you don't think about it at that time. But then, like those minutes before the stage, it all kind of comes to you. And it's like, oh, but am I ready? I don't know. I don't know. Do I remember the lyrics? I performed quite a lot. I mean, even considering this year, I have had quite a lot of performances anyway. But this is a complete different thing. So I think I understand now much better how the performer on this competition stage feels like. Yeah, it's very different. But in the jury, it's just it's quite easy to sit, actually. You just listen to the songs and you give your points and you try to be honest, and that's it. But I've been to juries so many times, so it's something you just get used to. I mean, it's easy to say it's hard because you have to compare different styles, which is absurd anyway.
Yeah.
But then you just do it and you think like, okay, what moves my heart? And that's the only thing that matters then. And yeah, so
Well,
but it's easy comparing.
fair enough. And you mentioned a lot of things that I want to pick up on, because you are a really seasoned performer. For people who might be being introduced to you through Eesti Laul, you've toured in probably a dozen countries in Europe and Asia. You've won countless awards, and if I were to list them all off, we would be here for a while. But I will mention one of the more recent ones, which is that Estonian Public Broadcasting named you the 2020 Musician of the Year. And I have to wonder, because you were talking about the fact that you don't really have control of the moment that it happens. But when you are the kind of artist that is so like tactile with instruments, and doing something like jazz, which depends on a lot of improvisation, is it a little bit scary to kind of give up that control to a television team to say, okay, this is the time that you perform and you're going to a track, and like how does that feel?
It feels a little bit like at one hand I feel good because that's the experience that I wanted to have. Like, how is it to just trust a whole team and play my role, and have all the show around me and just be a small part of a bigger thing. And this competition is about that. You are a small part of a very big thing. And the cause of it is just to give people inspiration. And I think one should never forget that. It's most of all a great concert rather than a competition. And it brings people together. I mean, in a national kind of zone, it brings the nationality together. And in the whole Europe zone, then everybody joins in the party. And we kind of think about Azerbaijan or Slovakia, and we kind of connect. So it's about so much more than just competition or performance. And I really love that experience. But yeah, now I went a little bit more far from your question.
No, it's okay. But tell me about, like, maybe tell me about choosing Energy, and like, how did you write this song, and what is it that made you say, this is the one that I want to take to Eesti Laul?
Well, it was born out of pure emotion, and that usually gives me the knowledge and encouragement inside of me, that to know that this song might be out there for more people. And no matter when or what I write, it always has to come through the filter of my honest emotions. Like, do I tell a story that's real? And with this one, there was no doubt. I'm not talking about the lyrics directly. You can never transcribe my own life from my songs. That's not the point. But you can transcribe my feelings and my feeling life, because at that kind of part, a singer cannot lie, because your timbre gives so much away. So your timbre tells a story, a melody tells a story. So I was actually supposed to perform and have a great presentation of my album. The whole tour has been like cancelled, most of it. And I was supposed to be in Berlin Philharmonic Hall. It was supposed to be one of the most important concerts of my album tour. And even that one was cancelled a couple of days before the deadline of the Eesti Laul competition. So I was supposed to be in Berlin the night before Eesti Laul competition deadline. And then I was sitting at home late in the evening and thought that, oh, but I had this song that I actually had thought about. Like, this song is something that maybe a wider audience could get. And then I just called my friend in and said, oh, I'm gonna end this song, so come here and help me to kind of make fast decisions. And it was like 4 a.m. in the morning when I started like recording the final form, like behind this piano here. So the one you can hear is actually played and sang here. And then I just recorded it, and it was done 6 a.m. in the morning and sent it off, and that's the way it stayed. So yeah, it was two things together. Just the coincidence that I was here in Estonia thinking, oh, but I need the excitement. Like, Eesti Laul was exciting. There was a chance that I could like perform and people give me feedback for my song, and that's the butterfly feeling I need into my stomach. So sending off the song was like out of a little bit of that need. And also I just had the song that kind of fitted for myself. So yeah, those two things. What a long answer it was.
No, but I love the detail. Like, you know, it's a great story, and you know, because you mentioned that you had the song from before, so it wasn't necessarily something that you wrote for Eesti Laul. It was something that you had kind of come up with at an earlier point. Is that right?
Well, I had the main line, but then the night before I just concluded it. I wrote the rest of the choruses and so on. So the main thing was there, but then I had to finalize it, and that was a kind of a process. But yeah, the song wasn't written for Eesti Laul. It just was written, as my songs mostly are, just now it came.
After hearing next applause, we will run away. No matter what the question was, we will run, and we did, so we ran, and we ran.
One of the most remarkable things about this song is the fact that it is just you and your voice, or sorry, it's you and the piano, your voice and the piano, which, you know, like being honest, when we consider the kind of music that we see in these types of selection that are for Eurovision, very few of them are like that. And I think that for a lot of artists that make you know, more acoustic music or more stripped back music, that might be a reason to not even bother. But for you, not only have you gone ahead and submitted it, but here you are in the final, closing out the show, by the way, which is, I think, a great spot. So was that always the intention, to do you know, a song with just you and your voice and the piano, or had you had ideas of maybe adding more instrumentation?
I didn't have time to even consider, because I was here when I decided to send the song.
Oh.
And I just played it behind my piano, and that was it. And yeah, so maybe if I had like time, maybe I would have ruined the song with a lot of instruments. I don't know. But in the end, I think the coincidence kind of worked for the song. And I do like, I have a very minimalistic band as well, like my duo with Michael Melgand. And Michael was the person here helping me to kind of make my rapid decisions and help me out with the sound. And yeah, so I just I use a lot of this minimalistic kind of acoustic room, me and piano, and the double bass, me and piano, and guitar, just me and the piano. And it's like one sound that's in my pocket, one choice, and I love that choice as well.
Sometimes, you know, like, again, like the simplicity, you know, sometimes people, there is this need to kind of overdo it with the production, but, you know, if the song is great, then I think that, you know, exactly what you've done, it really allows that to shine through. And I'm curious about, for you, what are the kinds of music that you listen to on a regular basis and are inspired by?
Oh, my first half of my answer is extremely boring. I do listen to a lot of different styles. But yes, I have periods, like who hasn't had a Queen period, and who hasn't had Pat Metheny period, who are like improvising musicians, and a Chick Corea period, and so on. But and also like Michael Jackson period was when I was 12. So I guess those things kind of are like in your system forever. But of course now. And I've been quite a lot into also like modern classical music. I've been into choir music and folk music quite a lot, like since childhood up until today. So it's all like a big mixture. And whenever I have a feeling, I just choose out of a feeling. But what I have been listening, for instance, lately is the Estonian composer Tõnu Kõrvits. He is also under ECM label, and like what I listened actually 2 days ago out of his work was Kirillus Kreek, like notebook, and that's just beautiful arrangement of another Estonian composer, Kreek. And but he also has like I've been listening to him very much. He's doing beautiful orchestral sounds, and it's just amazing. And well, once in a while, every once in a while, Johnny Mitchell comes into my mind, of course, and Billie Holiday. I mean, those emotional singers I cannot skip. They are in my system anyway. But also Estonian folk, traditional folk music, because that's where I feel safe, because I grew up in it. So yeah. And there is, and just again, like on my drive here, I listen to Pastakas, one Estonian artist, and Puuluup. So if anyone is interested in some very, very cool electronic folk pop, then yeah, Estonian Puuluup, or that's, yeah, you will be inspired if you dare to let it in.
I think I'm going to have to ask you for a list of recommendations for Estonian artists, because especially something that's like a blend of folk and electronica. We're seeing some of that with the Eurovision selection. And going into that, I want to know, how about Eurovision? Because I mean, obviously, you know, like appearing in Eesti Laul, it has other purposes, but it could be you that gets selected in the end. So I want to know, are there Eurovision songs that you really like and enjoy?
Well, I cannot skip my dear childhood friends Tanel Padar and Dave Benton song When Estonia Won 2001, because Tanel Padar and his sister Kerli Padar with their lovely mom lived underneath our apartment in an apartment building in our home village Haljala.
Oh, wow.
So Tanel and Kerli were my childhood friends, and they were 6 and 7 years older than me. So they very often took care of me. Like when I was alone at home, they were with me. And when, of course, so you can imagine, like there is a small village and we live like together. We were one very loud staircase. Like I mean, you know, there's a staircase and there are three floors of apartments, and yeah. So when they won, it was like it was one great memorable day for a lifetime, I think. So because the song was good, and I still love Tanel's voice, and yeah, so this is definitely my top one song, probably forever, because of my history with that song.
Well, maybe, you know, this will be your year to add to the history of Estonian artists at Eurovision. I think that would be fantastic. So bringing it back to the final, I want to know, now that you've gone through the semifinal once and you've had that experience of, you know, as we were saying before, giving the control to a TV crew and you know, being part of a larger process, how do you feel about the final?
Well, I feel still the excitement, both like a little bit scared and positively excited as well. Yeah, my main purpose is just to tell my story well, like be emotionally prepared, and I really hope that the message will get through. That's the whole target. Like if even one person or anyone is going to open their heart and let the emotion come in through this song, I've done my work. But I really have to take care of every note and every word or melodic line that I sing. So my purpose is to just sing good. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna try to do. So yeah, am I ready? Who knows? No one is ever ready. You just do things.
Right. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like you can try and prepare yourself as much as you can, but it's not going to necessarily get away of it's not going to get rid of the concerns, you know, maybe a bit of the nerves, but at the same time, you know, people like yourself, you know, your performance was really a highlight of the night, and I think that you know, people are definitely going to be feeling it. And I know that you said that, you know, as long as you only reach one person, or if you at least reach one person, then you've done your job. But I mean, it takes more than one person to get you to the final, and so you've definitely reached many people already. Thank you so much for this. This was really lovely. And do you have any final words for people who are going to be watching you and potentially voting for you?
Well, don't miss out the message. It's the song is about energy, right? So it's about listening to your inner child, the child you once were, like had and still has dreams of the world that you can create. And very often we use this energy for acting, for doing different things out of fear. Like, you know, group created fear. If I'm not going to do this, I'm going to lose that, and so on. And we spend a lot of energy on that. But we could really use this energy on creating the values and the environment that we desire and dream of. And even just by listening to a song, just allowing yourself to dream while listening to a song. This is something that's why I do listen to music and create music, just because when the song is on, every thought is allowed, and you can dream of whatever place you want to be in, and it's completely okay and well spent time. I wish people could just do it more. It's not just it's there for everybody. Yeah, just dare to use a song and dare to dream of things that may not become a reality. That doesn't count, because when you already spend time dreaming, then that's the same kind of time with the same value in your thoughts than the time with like work and everyday stuff that you need to do. So yeah, dare to dream and let the music just come into you. It's just you feel like you're all in love, and that's just one feeling to have through music. Yeah. What a long thought it was, but I tried to conclude it somehow.
No, but it's really beautiful, and one that I think a lot of people could really use right now to, because I imagine there are a lot of people who feel like they're using their energy towards things that they don't necessarily want to, especially considering the pandemic restrictions and the uncertainty about the future. So I think, it's a great way to sum it up, I would say. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Thank you.
And guys, if you want to vote for Kadri, if you're in Estonia, she's performing 12th on the night in the very last spot. If you want to follow the rest of the national selections with us, including Eesti Laul, don't forget to subscribe to Eurovoxx, follow all of our socials, follow Kadri as well, at Kadri Voorand.
Yes.
Okay. And we'll catch you guys on the next video with lots more Eesti Laul, lots more Eurovision stuff, and see you on the next one. Take care.
Take care.
Thank you.